Negative, K. Nothing further. Just Kitty Cammy in the corner. That's a direct order. Do it now.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Today is Thursday, July 30th, 2026. The month is almost gone. Summer's almost over. Kids getting ready for school. All I can say is that I remember when I was out for the summer felt like it was a whole year long. Now summer feels like it's only a week long now. But our kids are on their way back. We're gonna start with our intro moment of silence. And I'll give our disclaimer and Rich to give us our statement of purpose.
Is that really D or is that AI?
I lost all his what he's doing.
Hey D, you all right?
You hear it?
We heard a video instead of the moment of silence.
Can you guys
All right. I don't know why that was happening.
Somebody kept
D,
muting me. Who's muting
you
me?
had because you had everything going on. You had everything except
Yeah,
the
I got it right. I was like, well, who keeps muting me? Now it's crazy.
No, someone else must have muted you after that. But the moment of silence was like everything was going on. We had a whole other video going on in the background of that video.
Gotcha.
All right, so we really didn't get that, but we're sorry for that for those who are listening to us. But listen, we're gonna have listen, got a few of my friends here with me. I got Dave Kennard, I got Rich, I got Will, I got AC, I got D, I got Jerry, Derek, Ty, Mark, and Jim. Threw me off with all that going on over there, but I got y'all. I had to apologize to those who are on Facebook Live because I was writing to them as well. But thank you anyway for that. Let's get started with our moment of silence. I'll come back with the disclaimer, and Rich will come back with a statement of purpose. So let's just have just a moment of silence for those officers that was in the that transfers that took place in Delaware too. All right, amen. Listen, I had to do that because we still want to honor those who have transitioned, those in the military, those in law enforcement, and our family and friends as well. So wanted to make sure we do that. Our disclaimer. We are Roll Call Black, White, and Blue for Better Relations. Please note the comments and express concerns made by members of the Roll Call Black, White, and Blue for Better Relations herein. Roll Call are the opinions of the individual and not offered to or intended to be legal advice, recommendations, or suggestions for listeners and or observers. This panel may display graphic videos and photographs that are integral to spark discussion. These videos or photographs are not intended to offend any viewer or listener. A panel member will give notice to the audience as to the nature prior to displaying any graphic or sensitive video or photographs. Any graphic content displayed during the panel discussion has been obtained and shared from public social media platforms and is not the property of Roll Call. The language used by members of Roll Call and the guests is spontaneous. It is not uncensored and is not intended to offend anyone in our audience. Thank you so much. Rich?
Thank you, Rev. Hello, once again, we are Roll Call Black, White, Blue for Better Relations. We're a pro-law enforcement group. We're for equitable policing. We're against racism, and Black and Brown Lives Matter. We come to each week in an attempt to bridge the gap between law enforcement and your community. If you're here with us live, if you have any questions, concerns, or comments, you can type them in and we'll try to address them. Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much, Rich. And before I go any further, let me just recognize some of our viewers this time. Valerie Burrs Marsh, Burl McMillan, Karen Caffey, Sylvia Butler, Donald Coleman, Ruth Caffey, Carl Saunders, Richard Bowden, Brian Camp. We thank you guys. There's others that I cannot see, but thank you for joining us on today. We're praying for Derek and Deirdre, with Deirdre and Derek in that order. So we're praying for Deirdre first, and then Derek. We're praying for JT and his wife Orlando, Cheech and Anna, Isabel Jordan. We continue to pray for her. Monique, Mark's sister-in-law, Marcel Kennard, who I understand is on his way back to work, which means prayers are working. So we're glad to hear that. And we're praying for my brother, Elder Tim Butler, who seems to be doing better. We're going to make sure we keep him in prayer as well. And we're going to congratulate David Kennard on what would have been his 39th year with the police department on yesterday, I believe it was. So congratulations, Dave. They trained you well. All right. We do have some videos lined up. There's his hand raised. And Dave, go ahead, get us started, man.
Yeah, from what I heard on that video, we didn't see it, but from what I've heard, two things. Those cops must have had great cover, okay? And secondly, people may not like it, what I got to say on here, but you know what? This is why we agree to disagree. What color was the perpetrator? Okay, now, and where was this at?
I don't know what state it was in.
See? But I know those cops must have had some great cover, because if we walked out of that house, any one of us walked out of the house with a loaded rifle, whatever we had, man, come on, and popped one round off and took out a guy's windshield, we'd have been macaroni and cheese in the oven tomorrow.
Oh, that is.
Okay. You know, and I'm just saying, you know how we love macaroni and cheese? That's what we would have been in the oven with the ham. Okay, so I don't know what, I didn't know, really realize what color the guy was, but those cops, they were patient. But will you do that with everybody?
No.
Well,
did anyone else hear the officer say, "Is it real"?
Oh
yeah.
Yeah, because he wasn't sure if it was an airsoft or.
Yeah.
D, is
That
this
was
going to
the
be
point.
one of the videos we watch?
You guys
this
don't
is
want
the
to watch
video.
the video? You just want to talk about it? This is the video.
we want to watch.
No,
Go to the video.
I've been trying to get this on for 2 weeks, this video, because I just want to talk about the after effect and how the officer felt about what he did and didn't do right.
Go ahead, put it on.
Well, let's watch it.
Let's watch it.
Deputies in Virginia arrive to check on a man acting erratically, and the moment they approach the house, he emerges with a loaded gun aimed straight at them.
Now! No. Put it down. Anthony! Come on. Anthony. Mary Jane, is that a real gun? 7-ACT, Max. Let me back up now. Got one at gunpoint. Anthony? Anthony? Anthony! Put the gun back! Is that a cap gun? I don't know if that was real or not. That's a cap gun. 7 Acmac. Something shoots at you. Mary Jane, I'm gonna shoot him. I'm gonna shoot him. I don't even think it's real. It is real. 7 Acmac. My car was shot. Send me back up now. Look at my back window. Look at my back window. Get over there now. Get over there now. Mary Jane, get over there now. Get over there now. Anthony? Get. You're gonna wind up getting shot.
You better send me to hell. Come on.
Get over here. You're gonna get shot. You're gonna get shot. Put it down now. Put it down now. Put it down. Put it down now. Put it down. Put it down now. Put it down now.
Put it down.
Where's that other girl? Anthony, I do not want to do this. I do not want to do this. Put it down.
I've been wanting it. I had a bad day.
Put it down now.
I know you want to. He knows you want to. Come on.
Put it down now. Put it down now, Anthony.
You wanted it to. Come on, tell me.
Put it down.
Come on.
Put it down. Put it down now. Put it down. Anthony?
No.
Anthony. Anthony.
Anthony, put it up.
Why you have to change? Mary Jane, move over by your car now.
Nah, Ma, don't go to buy your car. Don't go to buy your car. Don't listen to that fat Put it up, Anthony.
Put the machete.
No.
Put it down.
You already in trouble?
Nah, I ain't going nowhere.
Yeah, you are.
I'm going to hell.
Stop.
Put it down now.
Going to hell. Send me to death row.
Put it down now.
Death row. Anthony.
Put it down now.
Nope.
Bob, come out of the house. Don't cook, Mary Jane. I don't care, Mary Jane. I got to take this serious. I know y'all. I know he probably won't do nothing to you. But you got to understand, you have to get back now. He's right on the inside of the door. He won't come out.
Get the out of the house now.
He's done shot the back window out.
Get the out. Get the out now.
I'm 10-4. The subject's inside. Will not come out.
Come on. Get the
Bob, come out.
now.
Bob, come out. Come on over here. Why are you holding your arm like that? Is there anyone else in the house?
You shoot at you?
Yeah. I should have. I had a clear shot. I should have taken it. I'm regretting.
Is this not a gun?
The gun. It's supposedly out of bullets, but that's why you got a machete now. Just wait for backup right now. I mean, Cage won't do anything to the door, so. I think the only other back door is on that side, that far side. The subject's inside with the machete now. Supposedly he does not have any more bullets. This is Anthony Baumgartner. No. No, absolutely not right now. He's currently cutting with the machete. Mary Jane, I cannot have you go to the door.
Why?
I cannot have you go to the door.
Because if he was, he'd have done it before
That's it. It was a BB gun. Only reason why I didn't shot it because it sounded like a pop gun.
Let's make entry. I'll cover you taser.
What's his name? Anthony. Let me see your hands.
Hands, bud. Hands.
Come here.
I know. Come here. Give me this hand. We're gonna get you help. 8 Mac, 1 to 10.
Come on, man.
Alright, there you go. Hi, Lucy. Love you.
You got anything on you I need to know about?
I don't think so. You might want to check your left, though.
Huh?
Left pocket.
Left pocket? What you got in there? Anything? Anything that's gonna poke, pry, or stick me?
I don't.
What's this? It had to have been a BB. Can you get me? Well, I'll go get it.
Bro, that ain't a BB gun. That's like a 9mm 40. Dude. 22.
You realize you pointed that right at me?
Yeah.
Mitch, take him. Take him.
Don't do what you did last time.
What I did last time?
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
You know what you did last time.
When?
You know what you did.
You thinking the wrong dude?
No, I know. I got video of all.
Put him in your car.
All right, come with me.
A BB gun. How can you tell something's a BB gun right away when you're looking at that son of a bitch coming out the house with it? You can't tell, man. You can try to focus in on the barrel, but you can't tell from that distance. And they knew. Then that comes find out they knew the whole family.
Mhm.
Okay. Now, does everybody else get the same treatment?
No.
And I don't want to sound like that, but you know what, man? It's a real issue. Does everybody else get the same treatment? You know? I know NYPD, they was shot his ass. They was shot his ass right away. Lit him up. Okay? And you know what, man? Tamir Rice didn't get that chance. Toy gun. Oh, he's a kid with a toy gun. Let's talk to him. No, he didn't get that chance.
Cell phone.
You know what I mean? And he run over to the cops, telling them, "No, hey, how you doing?" And no, they let him up. So no, man, it depends on what you look like.
Mm-hmm.
Hate to say it, but you know what, man? I'm tired of saying I hate to say stuff when I can see the truth right in front of me.
Absolutely.
Okay. I'm tired of saying that. I'm tired of hearing it. I'm tired of saying it out of my own mouth. And you know what I mean? And listeners, you know, I'm sorry. You know, I love y'all. But, you know, I'm tired of saying the same thing out of my mouth. Okay? That guy's going to be out tomorrow. Go get some psychiatric help. And he's going to be back out. And you know, wherever they were, they got guns in the house, regardless. He going to come home, the guns in the house. It just buffles, just kills me, man. You know, but I'm like, all right. Now, whatever department that was, what state that was in, now treat everybody else that way.
Accomack, Virginia, where Derek got a ticket from when he was a cop. Accomack, Virginia.
Goddamn, Derek, we should roll, man. You should roll back down there with some black hoodies on. Forget that.
Mm-hmm. Whoever gave you that ticket isn't on that job anymore because that was in 1984. So,
yeah.
Wow.
He might.
But
he might be listening to roll call.
Listen, I do have an order, but Mark has to leave early, so I'm gonna put Mark to the front of the line and let him go first. Then I'm gonna come back to Jim, Derek, Will, and Rich. Oh, I see you now, D.
Yeah, thanks, Don. Yeah, I was just gonna say, you know, in small towns or whatever, that was the sheriff's department, not the police department.
Mm-hmm.
So I assumed even before he said it, he knew the family.
Yeah.
And that creates, I guess, a kinship sometimes. If you know the family, you'll be a little slower to react. Not to talk about one of Don's stories, but he went into a house with another officer and the lady came out with a knife and they could have shot, but they ran around the table to get out of there and give it more time. So although the racial part does take a play in it, in that instance, also the knowledge of the family and stuff. You know, any of us that went to a call, I'm sure we probably took chances as well that normally maybe we wouldn't have if we had no idea who the individual was, the background, because they knew the family, they might have also known the background of that kid and knew that he had mental problems. So that story is a little bit more complicated and there's a little bit more under the water than what we see at surface level. I just want to throw that in. Thank you.
That's a great point, Marco. When it was going through, that's what I'm thinking. I'm like, okay. Now in New York City, it's very unlikely that you pretty much know the family unless it's just a certain area you're always targeting. But we knew families. I knew parents and grandparents that kind of like changed the rules a little bit. It puts us in danger, but we did change the rules a little bit, you know. So I know where we're going with this, but let me just keep on going. I got Jim, Derek, Will, Rich, and D.
I can't agree more with Dave that changed some of the circumstances there, and this guy wouldn't have, this clip would have lasted for about 10 seconds.
Exactly.
Or he would have been shot.
Exactly.
So, on another note, the whole clip itself is a terrible example for the public to see. Now, don't get me wrong, it ended well. The guy lived, handcuffed, probably went to the mental institution, everything ended well. But for the public to think that what they saw was normal police procedure, that's dangerous for us because that individual legally and rightfully should have been shot.
Immediately.
Really? He came out with a weapon. He fired the weapon at the police. That should have been the end of him. Exactly. Then we have a machete and he's standing there walking towards the police. There is a number of occasions where that individual should have been shot. The problem is when community people see that and they take the, well, why don't you do that all the time when you have somebody with a mental problem? That is so bad for police work to have the community think that that's normal. That particular segment should be condemned by all police departments as a not to do police response.
Right.
That's all.
And you're right on point with that. Let me before I go, let me just get this up in here real quick. Richard Bowden says if he was black, they would have used their wireless hole punches. that's a good one.
Yeah, I never heard that one. That's like
I like that one.
That's a good one. And then one of our schoolmates, Rich and Derek, Donna Edie and Ty. Donna Edie says, no offense to anyone, had this man been colored, the moment he came out with that gun, they would have opened fire. That you, Donna, you ain't ever lied.
It could have been a cell phone.
That's so true. One thing we should not do, and we don't want to be guilty of the same thing we accuse others of being guilty of. One police department is not the same as every other police department, so we got to keep that in mind as well. That some police departments you probably very rarely find someone who may be all out racist, and other departments have a whole department of racist people. So you can't just say they're all like that. So different locations, different jurisdictions will make that different. Karen Caffrey says, this reminds me of a video where the officer was lax with the inmate and wound up losing his life. The lady was definitely, in the way. That was something else too. Yeah, that mother, she was all up in the way. I mean, dang, gone. She made it difficult for the police. Very difficult for the police. Let me see any other comments. Good afternoon, everyone. Hope all are well. Brian Camp says, those little towns are so small, they all go to gatherings, church services, and stores. So they know each other. You're right. Donald Coleman, you would think they would have kept weapons out of the house, knowing that he is kind of unstable. Another thought. See, that's why I love this input right here. Another thought. Thank you. Let me get to Derek, Will, and Rich, Indeed.
Yeah. When the police officers arrived, the first thing the guy did was come out, point the gun at the police officer's face. It should have ended right there. And when the officer got on his radio and said, "I have one at gunpoint," no, one has me at gunpoint. And that was the reality of it right there. The guy had him at gunpoint. And even after the guy shot, is it real? Like, we all heard it, we saw it, and then we heard it. And I think it may have been a revolver, and the guy fired until he emptied it, and then he pulled the machete out. But it was obvious that he knew the family. To me, as a police officer, that wouldn't have mattered. If you're pointing a gun at me, I wouldn't care if I know your family. I wouldn't care if you were my family.
My family, exactly.
If one of my family members points a gun at my face, I'm shooting him.
Yeah.
I'm shooting him. And I'm not trying to shoot at a leg. I'm not trying to spare him. I'm trying to shoot him to end it and to end him possibly. And that's the way it should have gone. It should have been immediately. And one of the things that was very, very interesting to me, which we never hear when it's one of us, and one of us being a person of color, is as the officer was putting the cuffs on him, leaning him over the washing machine or whatever it was, he said, "We're going to get you help."
100%.
They never think about helping us. Never. The help for them helping us is fucking killing us. That's what help is. But he said, "We're going to get you help." And that just, it stood out to me because we don't get that chance. And this is a little bit off the subject, but just within the last few days, there was a kid in Austin, Texas, a black teenager, that called the police and said I believe someone pointed a gun at him. He called the police, and the police came and shot and killed him.
Yeah.
They came and shot and killed him. He had he had a water bottle, and they were like, "Get your hand away from your pants." He had a water bottle, and they shot and killed him. And he was the victim of the crime. So we don't get the same chances. It's unfortunate.
Listen, sometimes the truth hurts, but the truth is still true.
Hello.
All right. That's reality. Listen, I don't want to put something on this program that's false. That's something that's false. No, we don't get the same treatment. We don't. Plain and simple. Whether it's by getting a ticket, getting stopped, or whatever, we don't get the same treatment, and that is a reality. Period. You know. Will?
Y'all have heard me use this terminology a number of times, and it's called totality of circumstances. I heard Jim mention standard protocol or something along those lines. The nature of our job nowadays gives us guidelines about responding, but no two situations are alike. And now that we are dealing with mental wellness as a component of virtually every call we go to, nothing's cookie cutter. I personally am going to applaud this officer in the context of this call only, because I don't know of any other. So I'm going to compartmentalize this call. Mm-hmm. That I applaud the officer, one, that he had enough relationship with the family, that he knew them and they knew him, that he had a level of confidence in his rapport with this young man. It was dangerous. It was questionable, to say the least. But I think we all recognize a lot of times we look at these negative outcomes, and that's where our emotions hit. And I'm looking at this positive outcome. And yeah, I'd be lying if I told you in the back of my mind that if the demographics were different, would this have ended differently? And history tells me, and incidents tell me that, in fact, it would have been. Now, for me, the biggest linchpin was he knew this family and knew them well in the way that he was interacting with them, calling them out by name and directing them. He knew them well. So I'm pleased that a life was spared and the potential for them to get help. It hurts my heart that the reality of the world that we live in is I cannot look at that situation and not question what the outcome would be if the demographics were different. And that's the biggest part that bothers me. I can understand maybe some of our audience might feel like we go down this rabbit hole too often, but folks, every time you turn around and step, there's a rabbit hole.
Mm-hmm.
I'd love to be able to walk and not have to worry about stepping in a hole, but it's always there. I just got a request from someone, you know how on Facebook, not a request, but a friend recommendation. And you know how Facebook will send you a recommendation of someone because you all have a friend in common. Well, this someone is a law enforcement officer. And I just went and looked at his page, and he put up a repost telling people that they're wrong for blaming other people for their ills and everything. I mean, he was going down the list of things from a law enforcement officer standpoint of why he's frustrated with people and how they won't accept accountability and responsibility for their own actions. When you put on that badge and that gun, your level of accountability and responsibility goes up. And your responsibility is to help people in crisis, not look for an excuse to unalive them.
Thank you so much. Before I give it to Richard Bowden says to you, Derek, and I can answer this because I didn't hear this, but he is directed towards you, Derek. Derek, in the Air Force, your statement about shooting would get you court-martialed. You never shoot to kill. You shoot to maim. Aim for the center of mass. A 44 Magnum does a lot of damage to center mass. So I'm gonna give it to you, Derek, because I already know what you're gonna say. I already know what the answer was already, and but go ahead.
Right, and I said I wouldn't be shooting for the leg. I would be shooting to end the situation and to possibly end him. And we are trained to shoot to stop. We're not trained to shoot to maim.
That's
we're
right.
Trained to shoot at the center mass because that's where the vital organs are. And listen, if I have to shoot you and you die, it's your fault. It's not my fault. The guy pointed a gun at the officer's face. If someone, fortunately for me, in my 27 plus years of policing, no one pointed a gun at my face.
Mm-hmm.
If they did, they likely would have either shot me or I would have shot them. And if I would have shot them, I would have wanted one thing. And I've always said this. If I ever would have had to shoot anyone, and it still stands, if I ever have to shoot anyone, I want to be the only person testifying.
That's right.
Period. I've been to court plenty of times, hundreds of times.
That's right.
And the lies that people tell in court make you look like the devil himself.
That's
if
right.
I ever have to shoot anyone, I want to be the only person testifying. Period.
Dead man tell no tales.
And listen, and I let him say that, Richard Bowden, because I know he didn't say shoot to kill, because that's a flag for all of us.
Exactly.
Right.
I mean, I think you wouldn't have been the only one responding. The whole panel would have been responding like, we don't shoot to kill. Right. It just so happens where we shoot, you will most likely die, though.
Exactly.
Right.
So go ahead, Will. I see you.
Real quick to that point, and we've covered this before. I need for Mr. Bowden and our audience to understand the reason why we train for this center mass area, because it's the largest targeted area in the body. Mm-hmm. And stress can cause you to lose finite motor skills. So from the standpoint of an arm, a hand, a leg, a foot, or even the head, all of those targets relative to this center mass would be considered much smaller, i.e. finite motor skills, as opposed to this center mass is a much more reliable target under stress for you to hit, as opposed to trying to aim for a gun in somebody's hand or to shoot somebody's leg for them to go down. Now, is there a higher probability of shooting center mass? Absolutely, because that's where the major organs are. But it's not just a matter of shooting to stop the threat. It's also a matter of accuracy, because we have to be accountable for the rounds that we fire. So I understand your point from the Air Force, but I remind you, that is military environment. It is not policing. The two are not the same. Not
I
even close.
understand what he was saying. He just worded it differently. But
Yeah.
yeah, I said either shoot to stop, or I said shoot to end the situation and possibly end him. But listen, that's why we shoot people to end the situation.
You definitely didn't say shoot to kill.
I didn't.
Shoot to kill would have had the bells going off in this place. I'm telling you now. Shoot to kill would have had all of us like, ho, 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 ho. That's not what we're doing. You know, so I that's what really I was getting at. Because I did hear what you said, to stop the situation, family or whatever. You know, and it just happens to be, if you really read into it, you're gonna die. Well, I'm gonna shoot you, most likely are gonna die. But that wasn't my purpose. But ultimately, if you're the only one testifying, it was. You know, listen, I understand all this thing, all this stuff, and I did police work for 20 years, and I prayed that I would never have to shoot anyone. I prayed that wouldn't happen. I'm not the type of person that wants to shoot someone, but please understand, if I'm in that situation, I will be the person who will shoot someone. You know, I just don't ever want to be in that situation. Go ahead, Mark. I see you. I know you're driving. Go ahead. Come off mute.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, you know, even in a tie, we lose.
Yeah.
So that's why, you know, we're taught to shoot at the largest body because of the percentage, and like what Will said. The other thing is, it's always a personal decision. You know, we have policies, we have this, we have that, but it still comes down to a personal decision of whether we can take somebody's life or we're ready to take somebody's life. And everybody has their own line. Everybody, even on this panel, everybody has their own line. Some guys may have waited a little bit longer. Some guys may not. It doesn't mean you're right. It doesn't mean you're wrong. It means that your line and your importance of going home is maybe more important, and you don't rely on luck. I, for myself, have had situations where I got shot at. I didn't shoot back. I got the guy. I recovered the gun. I made that decision. Should I have killed him, or could I have killed him? Absolutely. Or could I at least shot him back? The thing is, everybody has their own line. In that video, that guy says, maybe I should have shot him. Mm-hmm. But I think it was the personal connection that played two pieces. Okay, the one piece was he was reluctant because he knew him and he knew his family. Mm-hmm. But the bad part about it is he risked his own life. Yep. Because that guy could have been taken out, and then he would have took out the woman sheriff that was hiding behind the car. We didn't even know she was there until the guy said, well, where's that woman at? And then we saw her hiding on the side. I don't know if she was a rookie, but she let the other guy handle it and stayed out of it completely. So I don't even know what that was about. But personal connections can sometimes make us take risks that can cost us our lives. But that would have been his decision.
Absolutely. Thanks. I'm coming to you, Rich. I am coming to you. Let me just get this in here. Donna Edie. Donna Edie knows myself, Derek, Tyrone, Rich. She knows us, and she may know Dave. I don't know. But Donna Edie says, I want to give kudos to Reverend Donald W. Butler and Tyrone Green, because we lived in a time where all police officers were more concerned about our well-being other than using excessive force, especially with our youth. Thank you all for your service. That's what she's saying to us. So thank you, Donna. And listen, Donna will let you know. Donna will let you know that Donna was not a good person all the time. So, but Donna will let you know. Listen, she thanks us for our service. I thank God. Derek, Richard came back, and Richard, I'm giving you kudos for this one too, Rich. Richard says, Derek, I apologize. We all know the purpose for shooting someone. I took your words too far. Right. So thank you, Richard. Thank you so much. You don't know how, just like you just did that. That's what AC, Jim, and some other people on this call were saying, that That's the same thing police officers should be doing to the community. When we make a mistake, we ought to apologize and keep moving. You know how it makes you feel when someone knows they made a mistake and then apologize for the mistake? Yeah, all right, I'm sorry. That goes a long ways, and that meant a lot too. Meant a whole lot. So, thank you, Rich. I'm not saying that because you're my cousin. I'm saying that because that really makes a person feel good. You know. Carl Saunders says, "Did you guys see the white man chasing the cop and beating him up on the grass, and the cop never shot or tased him?" Yes, we saw that. Listen, if we can find, I don't know where we are on the program. I would like to see that one too. That was funny. That cop was hauling. That cop was running. Go ahead, Rich. It's on you, Rich and D.
Okay. Yeah, I've been trying to get this video on for a couple of weeks now. It didn't finish. There was only a few minutes or so left. But the deputy did rationalize what he did wrong and where he messed up, and he did show a lot of patience because he knew the family, like you said. There's two sides of this coin, because his familiarity with the family made him more comfortable that he wasn't the EDP. Son wasn't as much of a threat as it would seem on the surface. And you see how it ended. He was in tears. Obviously, he had a bad day. It was an episode of some sort. I don't know what his condition is, whether he's bipolar or autistic or whatever his problem is, but he actually had an episode. Put that aside, he came out with a revolver and shot out the deputy's window. There's like 3 rounds that went through the window of his patrol vehicle. The proper action would have been to return fire and stop the threat. I wanted to put this on because I knew it would be thought-provoking and be different sides that people would grasp from this. Secondly, he didn't control the scene. He let the suspect control the scene. That's our whole purpose. When we come to a scene, we're supposed to take control. We're supposed to keep everybody safe. He let this guy walk around with a machete. Family members, what if he had gone in the house and decided, I'm going to go hack my dad up? I'm going to make you shoot me now. When you had him outside already, you could have taken him out or stopped the threat at that point. He let him go back in the house with the machete. And then he has to report, oh, he's in the house with the machete now. Now, the kid let the father go outside. Family members are too involved. They should have been taken. That other cover officer, the supposedly a rookie, the female, she should have somehow gotten around and got the family out of the scene, pushed them out, or whatever she needed to do. Advice being helpless, on the sidelines. I don't know what she did. You only saw her on the side of the vehicle hiding. So, there's a lot of aspects to this, but we didn't see the complete video, but the officer does talk about, I should have done this and I should have done that. I thought it was thought-provoking. The scene, it ended up well. They took him into custody without incident. But I know myself, and I know the rest of these officers here, he wouldn't have given us a choice at that point. He came out firing rounds at us. At that point, it's time to stop the threat. It shouldn't have gone any further. You shouldn't have been able to get to that machete and walk around with it. It just, it's just a point that you get lulled when you know family members, when you're familiar with the family, and then you have to take law enforcement action to save lives, because that could have gone really bad for the suspect, the family. If he decided he wanted to attack his own family, or he could have got a round off and hit one of the officers. So there was a bunch of errors here. It wound up well, but no protocol was followed. No doubt about it. That's all I got.
All right. DAC, Dave and Will.
Wow. Good afternoon, everybody. Everybody had a good point, and I want to apologize for the tech. So you guys understand, I'm going to say the word bandwidth. That's what causes the problem sometimes. Once we get together, things don't work out. But I can play the end of the video if you guys want. But I just wanted to give a little context. Everybody said a lot of the things that I wanted to say. I almost put my hand down, but I just wanted to be clear as supervisors. I know we got Jim, Will, and I know Mark is listening, and Derek's here. After report that incident, I got a lot of problems. We talked about the other officer that was hiding behind a car. I have a huge problem with that. When even they were addressing the subject, we did not see that officer at all. I have a huge problem with that. Now, as an officer that worked in a rural area upstate New York, I had the chance to work in the suburbs in Westchester County and Suffolk, and then work in New York City. When we were talking about knowing the family, you can't factor that in. Here's what happens. If I show up to that call and I know the family, and then Derek shows up to that call, he doesn't know the family. Anybody see the problem with that? We have policies in place. The policies are to protect everyone. I know you guys said it, the mother and father, that's their kid. The other officers, then it starts getting bigger. Nobody saw that house behind him, that car behind him, the house behind that. Y'all know how firearms travel. We have a responsibility bigger than just who I know or what I know. So that's when you fall back on your training and the policies. That situation should not have gone past the initial 10 or 15 seconds. Now, I know we shoot to stop. That's what we do. We shoot to stop the threat, whatever it takes. We can't have those conversations. Do you see that does to training? Do I know the guy? Is he a big guy? Is he a white guy? Is he a family member? Is he a son? Is he a daughter? Could you imagine making decisions as a police officer and having to factor all that in? You're rendering yourself ineffective. That's why the policy is there. Now, me as a supervisor coming after, that's a wonderful, we got him help. It's a wonderful thing. You guys clap. That officer has a problem. The officer on the side has a problem. Everybody got trouble. As far as I'm concerned, you help me out, Jim. Everybody got a problem because I can't count on who you know or what you know in rural New York down in New York City. I can't do that. And I'm rendering myself ineffective if I'm expecting to know everybody. Mm-hmm. Or if I'm in a place where I don't know nobody and there's different rules and you understand the problems. That's why people get shot. We talked the white, black situation. Let's just talk about the police officer, non-police officer situation. That situation should have been handled differently, excuse me. And it's nobody's fault, nobody's responsibility. I knew the guy. I saw him last week. We had a conversation about something. Right now, he's endangering people's lives. And I say this every week, and then I'm going to sit down and shut up. Sylvia, none of y'all wives care if I don't do my job, if you don't come home. Nobody cares. Nobody wants to hear how I knew the family when he puts a bullet in one of y'all. Nobody wants to hear that I knew him and he had a bad situation. We got to stop factoring things that don't matter. I was able to do this job for 32 years. I don't factor my personal. I love everybody, but I can't factor that in when I'm doing my job. It's policy, training, and then I worry about what I know, who I like, because there's so many things. By the time I get to the policy and the training, it's already done. I know I've spoken other times, and I'm gonna let this go. I don't have any chill. I don't have any. Sometimes I ring that bell because that's the point where I realize people made a mistake. When you start factoring too much in. If I factor in how much I know you, should I factor in how much I don't know you? If I factor in that you white, can I factor in that you're not white? If I factor in that you're old, can I factor? I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't. I couldn't be a police officer. So I think we got to get out of that. If we want to judge police officers a certain way, policy, law, policy, training. That's how I do my job. That's it. All this friendly stuff, we can go get a burger later. But when it comes to police work, law, policy, training. That's it. If it follows those three, you're absolutely right, Derek. I'm testifying too. That's it. Law, policy, training. If y'all want something else, y'all got to go and get somebody else for that. That's not what we're out there to do, and that's all I got.
Great point. Jerry, before you have to exit, do you have anything you wanted to say? If you do, just do this before you get up out of here. That way I'll grab you real fast. Stop highlighting Jerry. Take Jerry off the highlight.
Who did that?
Actually, I'm good. I do agree with you guys. It was very obvious that there was a relationship, and that made it all so messy. And Mama was causing more grief than she should have been allowed to cause. Totally. But you're all on point with that. It's fortunately it did turn out the way that it did, but I think that's very, very well. It may not be as unique as I think it is, but I want to think it doesn't happen that often.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah, loved ones will get in the way. Let me go with Jim. Is your finger up, or are you picking?
I want to say D. I think he hit it right on the head. I mean, this is an incident that the officer may have known the guy. He probably did know the family and all that, and it's his choice and all that. There was another officer there. There were family members there you put in harm's way. If I was that other officer, I mean, she has her own problems there hiding behind a car. But I would not be very happy with that officer. And if I was on that scene, after it was all over, I'd punch him right in the mouth. He put everybody at risk. So, yes, it ended well. Thank God everybody was happy. But I'll tell you what, if the officers back in the police station got a look at that video, they're not going to want to go on any calls with this guy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's dangerous. I'll leave it at that.
No. You just said something. Wait a minute. Hold up. Jim, Donald Coleman says, if I was the other cop, he would have been a shot man if he had fired at me. That was the other cop friend, not mine.
That's right. That's right.
You're on point. Dickie. You're on point. Who has something to say? Rich?
Yeah. Rev, I was wondering if we could see that last minute of the video where he talks about what he.
Honestly, Rich, I don't even care what he got to say now. We saw what we saw. He gonna just tell.
It was a human reaction though that he had. No, you know what?
Yeah, but I mean, if the team says they want to see what he got to say, that's fine. I'm just personally saying this Donald Butler now. I'm not speaking for the whole panel. I really don't care what he got to say. He showed us what he was going to do and what he's not going to do. But if y'all want to see it, does anybody besides Rich want to see it?
It's okay.
You can see where Rich is going with the context of the immediate after action evaluation that the officer did.
Uh-huh.
And I think it might actually help our audience to kind of understand where his head was at.
Listen, I don't really care. Listen, D, do you have the last point? Well, we have to get the time.
I'm trying to redeem myself. I do.
Okay. Well, then, do that, and I'll come back to AC, Dave, Will, Ty. I got Rich in because Rich just I guess that was Rich's point. His hand was up, but okay, go ahead.
Roll that beautiful beam footage.
We all get back to Eric's car and just rope off the whole, because I know them. They want it roped off big.
The suspect, 19-year-old Anthony Bumgardner, was taken into custody and charged with 2 counts of attempted aggravated murder of a law enforcement officer, use of a firearm in the commission of a felony, shooting into an occupied dwelling, destruction of property, and several related firearm offenses. According to court records, Bumgardner later entered a guilty plea. He was sentenced to 28 years, with all but 8 years suspended, meaning he will serve 8 years in prison, followed by strict supervision after his release, and was ordered to pay restitution. Anthony will be 27 years old when he is released from prison in 2032.
There's a reason the primary officer didn't shoot, and it might not be what you think. A study from the National Institute of Justice found that officers who decided to shoot in justified deadly force incidents often did not have information on the subjects they were facing and could not determine the emotional state of the subjects, meaning that officers who are familiar with the subjects tend to refrain from using deadly force. At one point in the body cam footage, the primary officer mentions that he knows the suspect and that he doesn't believe he would hurt his family. This is very likely the reason he chose not to shoot, and it's important to realize that in situations like this, there's hardly ever a correct or incorrect answer. While the primary officer was heard criticizing his own handling of the situation, the judge later praised his calm, controlled response while under fire. While the situation may have ended okay in the end, that officer will likely continue to play that day in his head over and over again for the rest of his life. Now, one thing that stood out to me was the notepad that the female officer was holding, and that's not a criticism, it's a reminder. Whether you're a trainee, a rookie, or a veteran officer, there comes a point where self-preservation has to take priority over everything else.
Yeah.
We're no
that part. That's why I wanted everybody
talking
to
about
see that part there.
Okay.
Thank you.
Anybody want to comments?
Yeah.
Go ahead, AC. I'm sorry. I didn't see your hand.
No, I was saying from before, from the previous list.
Oh, yeah. I'm coming back to that. I was talking about in the last minute or so. All right, AC, you're up.
Okay. So people don't know, I come from a community policing background. I believe that police should be a stakeholder in the community and should be accountable to the community. That being said, nothing is more safe than proper tactics.
Exactly.
And I've come in several situations where loads of situations where I know the person that we're dealing with being in good mental health or bad mental health. Mental health is a condition that occurs. It's not the reason you don't use proper tactics. You still have to make sure everybody's safe and secure before you get help to someone. This person is doing something that's a crime while going through an episode. It's still a crime while going through an episode. There's maybe a reason why you're doing it. If you're stealing something because you're hungry or because you're not feeling well, you're still stealing something.
Yeah.
If you're shooting at somebody for whatever reason, you're still shooting at somebody. Now, I know people have been shot at before or around shooting. It's not fun. It's not fun when you hear shots and you're not on the behind the gun, you're in front of the gun. That's real scary. It makes you lose bodily fluids and stuff like that. It's not fun. It really isn't. And you're putting too many people in danger. I'm not saying you have to shoot a person because it's lawful that you can shoot a person. I'm saying you can't put other people in danger because you think that there's no threat or you're not afraid of this person. You have to be afraid the person gonna hurt you. You're behind a car. You have to be afraid this person might hurt somebody else. Especially if they're not emotionally there right now. You can't predict what they would do, regardless how nice of a person it may be. If they're doing something that's dangerous to other people, you have to stop that somehow. You don't always have to shoot, but you can't put other people in danger. Will was saying there was sheriffs, there weren't police, there were sheriffs. I think the other car that came was a police officer. When he got there, for some reason, everything was over. he went there with his gun ready, and all of a sudden, everything over now. Part and that car's about less than 20 feet long. A machete and 21 feet distance is a problem.
Yes.
It's just too many red flags. You can't do that. It's too dangerous. And like someone said before, he needs to be written up.
That's what D said.
Yeah. He needs to be written up.
I'm glad that's what I want to talk about.
I'm glad he's able to get help, but it's too dangerous. You put too many people in danger. It's not fair to the other cops, the other family members, because family members they're the worst people to be around when it's a problem.
Yeah.
AC, it looks like the female officer was writing them up. She had a notepad.
She was taking notes on how not to do police work.
Yeah. This is what I'm saying. As soon as the supervisor get here.
Or how not to do police work.
She was holding on to that pad. Let me see. Dave, is Dave with us?
There he is.
Oh, hey, welcome back, Dave.
Oh, man, I never left. I was just going to say that Derek, Rich, and D School, y'all hit it on point, man. When I got in the shootout, man, from Mr. Bowden over there, that dude punched a gun out of me at point blank range. So you punching back, you ain't aiming. You just trying to stop him. You know what I mean? You just trying to stop him. I was 15 feet away. I'm punching back. I wasn't like, let me just aim, see if I can hit him here in the shoulder. No, I thank God I was able to hit him, and I didn't kill him, but he got hit in the head, the chest, and the shoulder, and the stomach. But still, I was like, I wasn't aiming. But the worst part about it was going to the hospital. I couldn't feel my legs. They cut my pants off in the damn ambulance, and I couldn't. And the doctor was laughing in the emergency room. Was like, "You know what happened to you?" I said, "No, I don't know what happened to me. Shock. Shock could kill you faster than his gunshot will." Man, man, I went to church that Sunday with my mother. You know? I went to church that Sunday with my mother. I said, she said, "You going to church with me tomorrow?" I said, "Yep, I'm driving." Yeah, because I'm just saying, man, you don't know. This is not a war zone. This is everyday streets, everyday life. Kids are walking, children walking, parents are walking, moms, dads, teachers, whatever, store owners. This is not a war zone. It's not supposed to be. But Derek and Rich and D School, man, y'all hit it. And D School, man, I felt so horrible for you because you're upstate, man, out in the wild ass environments. And I had to go up there to pick up people and bring them back to New York. I got stopped by the state troopers all the time, suit and tie, me and my partner, because somebody seen us stop off at a rest spot to get the guy some cigarettes and some food to send him down to eat. And man, we were surrounded by state troopers. You know what I mean? I'm like, damn, man, this is our prison. We had to go to Syracuse to bring him back home. Sorry, oh well, people called up on you. You know what I mean? Yeah. So D School, man, you was out in the youth, man. Nobody could get to you, bro. If you really need that help fast, nobody could get that fast. You know, so you come down to New York City, we're gonna get to you. You know, but I'm just saying, man. I commend you, Derek, Rich, and D School, man. Yo, and Jim. Oh, Jim, you were right on point, brother.
Mm-hmm. Let me say this real quick because I forgot to say this at the beginning. Also, Dave, we're praying for you. I know we prayed for your son, and your anniversary. We're praying for you as well, and you as well. You also, Tyrone. I had to write it back down on this list, but just want to make sure we do that. Let me go to Will and Ty. Will and Ty.
To come back on this thing has so many different layers. I will offer this measure of grace for the female officer who was in the car with him. In most likely scenario, she was probably in field training. And again, I have to presume that because one, they were traveling to a car, and her reaction, her response. One of the components that we're missing is the 911 call to know what information they were working with approaching the call, and the conversation that he most likely as the training officer had with her as the trainee. We spoke earlier about how he neglected to be behind safe cover. I can understand the perspective about her holding the notepad and not having a gun in her hand. She was behind cover. I don't know what instruction her field training officer may have given her before getting out of the car, given what his reaction was with this family. And so with his familiarity and the way he reacted, I can envision him telling her, "Listen, I know this family, just stay safe and let me handle it." I can envision him happening that. We won't know for sure, but given the way things play out, I'm inclined to give her that measure of grace under these circumstances, not knowing how long she's been on the job. But it's like you all said, it was an excellent outcome. Unfortunately, it will jade the community that does see it, expecting to see that outcome again, regardless of what the dynamics are going to be as far as the demographics go. And it is the ultimate conundrum. So many things done wrong to come out with the right outcome. Mm. That's the craziest thing about this. So many things done wrong to come out with, I won't say right, but with the most favorable outcome, meaning no one was hurt. Now, also, this was a domestic situation because however the police got notified, the only people that were imminently in danger were his own family in the house. And what do we know about domestics? You all mentioned it earlier about how family will get in the way. They're expecting you to come there to get the person under control safely. And like someone else said, we don't have a different playbook to read from when there's imminent threat, whether it is in the commission of a crime or a mental illness bout. We don't have a different playbook. But the family and a lot of people think that we do play from a different playbook if we're talking about mental illness. So that response, and maybe it entered into the officer's head, the concern of how the family might react if he hurt this guy. And it goes to my point about just how difficult this job has become now. Because 20, 30 years ago, when it was just a matter of reasonable suspicion, probable cause, that's a body bag. But the expectation has changed now. And we're still trying to figure it out ourselves as officers to be able to do it in such a way that is most beneficial to the community, but also keeps everyone around us safe.
Thank you so much, Ty. Before you go, let me just read these comments real quick.
Yes, sir.
Don Edie says, to give y'all a little insight about me, like Donald said, I wasn't a goody two-shoes and ended up at 100 Carmen Avenue, Nassau County Correctional Facility, for those who don't know. There were officers there that I went to school with, grew up with, and that didn't stop them from doing their job. I say that to say y'all have a job to do, and I appreciate that there was no discrimination, and that's the way it should be with all law enforcement agencies, and unfortunately, that's not the case. Racism is running rampant in our nation. That's from Donna Edie. Then after that, Donald Coleman says, I don't understand how she was busy writing notes. She should have at least had her gun out just in case he came around her side of the car.
Exactly. That part right there.
Donald Coleman, you were you a police officer? No,
that part right there. That part right there.
I'm messing with you. Go ahead, Ty.
All right. So AC said that the line I wanted to say about rules and regs and proper tactics, but this happened to me, Martin Luther King Drive, without a guy I went to middle school with was holding his mother at knife point around her neck, and he was behind her and I couldn't see her, and I'm in the stairwell with Sergeant Sadler, and I got an award I got a life-saving award of valor for saving 2 lives that day by not shooting one, which I thought that I didn't do it. But before I got the award, the inspector called me into the office and he said, the very next time you don't use the amount of force reasonable and necessary to stop the actions, you and I are gonna have a problem. He said it just like that. Because he understands my reason for doing it. There was other apartments in the hallway of Martin Luther King Drive. AC will tell you, maybe like 6 steps, and then it's turned 6 steps. All the apartments are right there. So I'm trying not to shoot this cat, but I had a couple opportunities where I could have stopped the incident, and I didn't, and I got called on the carpet for it. And the only reason I didn't get a rip was because the inspector was the inspector that it was. But had it been the other inspector, put the eye on the last end of his name, I probably would have gotten ripped. But because it was an E on the end of the name, he sat me down and said, listen, son, I like you a lot. But the very next time you don't use the amount of force as reasonably necessary, you and I gonna have a problem. He said just like that. He said, I get out of my office. So
I was just typing something to Ty, and
I know you were.
I didn't have to. I'm okay now.
I saw you going. I know where you were going with that. You were going with that. You were going with the I, but it was the E.
I'm lucky.
And I was typing a real good message.
I'm lucky. I'm lucky the I was on vacation, and the E was there because the I was there. He'd be like, "Son, get here. I can hear him now." You know what I mean, Jim?
I would say this, and we've had a little bump here on this Facebook stuff, but the one with the E, I thought was a very fair person across the board. Across the board.
If I can say so, extremely fair. Extremely fair.
Fair.
He was strict, but he was fair.
Oh, but fair.
And that's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, I had no problem with that. The
Not
other
at all.
one, I just had my little issues with the other one because it was part racial, but it was also ego.
Ego and politics.
A lot of ego involved in that. A lot of ego.
Exactly.
You know, who was the E? only remember two inspectors. I don't remember two. Now, AC, if you know another one, let me know, because I don't remember two. You and I worked together. All right.
I like Marino. Go ahead, John. Thanks, Don.
He was inspector?
Was Marino an inspector? He was, right? He was.
Not when I got there. Not when AC and I got there.
Yeah, he was when he first got there.
Yeah, Marino was definitely an inspector.
First got there.
He was? I thought he was.
No, he was a captain, and
He
then
was a
they
captain.
did away with captains. Then he was a lieutenant, and then he became an inspector.
Inspector, that was exactly
When-
right.
Yeah, when Russo became chief.
I remember that exactly right.
All right. I don't remember him being an inspector. I remember him captain, and then when
Well,
he
I was-
left, they replaced him with a captain. I remember that.
No, he was an inspector when I got hired because Russo was on vacation.
Okay. When y'all got hired, y'all ain't do nothing anyway but wash cars and fill the cars up with gas.
We painted too.
Let me go on to D. D had his hand up. Go ahead, D.
If y'all finish reminiscing,
Exactly.
Ty made me think of something that I think is important for people who are watching. You could do everything right. You could have the great outcome. Everybody's alive. Everybody goes home. Everybody's attaboy patting you on the back. And at the end of the day, you're still going to get written up because you didn't do what the policy said. You got to understand that. You look at an officer's jacket, and all of our jackets were filled. And people are like, well, he must have been a bad law enforcement officer. No. And this is for the people outside. They look at that and they say, he got many complaints and many written up. You could do everything right. Save everybody's life. Save one guy, and I'm going to talk about myself, from a heart attack, another guy from a stroke. You get back to the station, and they're like, come here. Right? Am I right, Ty? Come here. And they start writing you up. And I'm not going to write you up big, but you got to feel it. Because understanding what we were saying as far as this is concerned, the law and the policy have to be followed. Whether everybody's alive or everybody's not alive, that's not the litmus test. And that's for people watching. The litmus test isn't everybody went home nice. We all say that, but we got a jacket full of what you should have done. This is what the policy said. This is how you should have handled it, right, Ty?
That's right.
You should have done. I know. Everybody, you got the award, brother. You with your big brother. You still got written up.
So D School, he told me that right after he told me the award I was going to get. So you got the Medal of Valor, son. You got the License Medal of Valor. But guess what? If I ever,
you got to understand that's the way it is. We have policy. And sometimes it turns out good. Sometimes even if it turns out good, you still got to go back and you got to get where's Jerry called up on the carpet. I got to go to Mark's office, and Mark's gonna say, "Great job, Trooper."
And let me tell you how he did it.
Come here and sit down.
He gave me the letter with the door open. So I got the award. He says, "No, do me a favor, Ty. Close the door." I was like, "Oh."
I just wanted to make
and D. Mark was my friend, and I didn't really work with him too much when he was a supervisor. But I know that was one office I wouldn't want to go to.
Nah, bro. Oh no. Heck no.
I can tell you right now, that would have been one office. I'd rather go to the Eyes office than Mark's office.
I can say right now, I agree.
Mark wouldn't have been racist, but it'd have been on point.
It'd have been on point.
He'd have been your friend with his arm around you. Yeah, you know you're gonna have to take this hit, right?
On your head for sure.
Walking backwards.
Mark
had go for vacation.
Mark had officers coming over to the armory with me, say, "Yo, man, talk to your boy." I said, "Nah, man." I said, "Do your job. My boy do what he's supposed to do. I ain't talking to my boy." I said, "Do your job."
Listen, and that's all it really was, you know. That some supervisors, you just knew they wanted you to do your job. You knew who to work with different supervisors. You know, they all had different personalities. With Jim, you just knew not to come in there with something. You just don't come in there with just stuff. You don't come in there trying to pad the overtime, because that's gonna cost you. You know. But indeed, yeah. Listen, is there another video?
I do. I mean, we have 420. You guys make the decision. I got the good guy video, and I got the video about Nolan Wells. So what do you want to do?
Nolan Wells, do that real fast. Nolan Wells.
Take a look. Apparently, the 911 call came out this week. I'm gonna play it. I'm not gonna set it up. And just take a look at this. Give us some information.
Listen to it.
Were Nolan Wells' friends talking about him and talking about him possibly being dead while they were on their way back to the mainland from Horn Island? This is all because of some audio that we got from officials down in Mississippi. This audio is a call that's being made from the boat that Nolan's friends were on. So after they're on Horn Island on July 4th, at the end of the day, about 4:30, they decide they're heading back to the mainland. And the owner of that boat, or the grandson of the owner who's driving the boat, realizes that they are taking on water. Their bilge pump isn't working, so he places a call to a tow company called Sea Tow. And while he's on that call, there is a lot of commotion going on. And what people think is that in the background of that call, you can hear someone say, "Is he dead? Nolan. Oh my God." It's really hard to make out. This is what it sounds like.
Sea Tow Assistance, Vicky speaking. How can I help you? All right, of course. How far is the water coming up, sir?
No, we do not need that.
All right.
No, we do not need that.
Now, there are other parts of the audio where people think they hear the words "check his chest" or "wake up." One thing you can definitely hear clearly is the guy who's calling the tow company says, "Shut the bleep up." Now, he could have been yelling to some people. He does tell the dispatcher that there are about 7 people on board, all of them under the age of 20, under 21, he says. Now, here's what doesn't make sense. If they really were, and again, that audio is very difficult to make out. I mean, you can definitely hear, "Oh my God." The Nolan and Izzy dead part is up to interpretation. What doesn't make sense is why would they, if they had something, if there had been foul play and something happened to Nolan or someone did something to Nolan on that boat, why would they be talking about it loudly while he's on the phone to a tow company? Just doesn't add up. People we've spoken to in Ocean Springs, Mississippi, say that that whole conversation here in the background is just chaos as these young, as I say kids, but these young men were trying to get back to the shore and the boat's taking on water. They're all trying to figure out what to do. Are they going to have to get off the boat? That's what all that chaos is, what we're told by people connected to the kids who are on that boat. The other thing is, this is after 4:30. We have been told that there is evidence that, or the police have testimony from people that Nolan was still on the island after 4:30. That would track with what Warren has been saying, that when they left at 4:30, they had a heated conversation with Nolan saying, "Get on the boat, get on the boat." And he said, "I'm not going. I'm going to get a ride back with someone else." So it would make sense that Nolan would still be on Horn Island after 4:30, which means that this whole audio, while they're on the boat after 4:30, they've left Horn Island, they wouldn't be referring to Nolan. It just seems like people are hearing something that isn't actually there.
All right, I got a few hands, and I'm gonna shut it down after these 2 hands. First Mark, then Dave, and then D. The Good Boy video. We can go.
Yeah, I'll be real quick. First of all, I need to stop referring to these guys as his friends, because obviously they weren't. I think, and as far as the guy on TMZ, there's many a conversation that's going on because these young kids are amped up because of what happened. So they're not conscious that somebody's on the phone. So I disagree with that commentator's opinion about why would they say it when he's on the phone, because they're not paying attention. They're kids. Right. They're focused. They're hyper focused on what just happened which is not a normal everyday occurrence. And it's coming out. It's like a volcano. Kids, one thing with kids, when something happened and it's traumatic, once you get them start talking, they usually will keep going. And they're not thinking, unless they're like, they've been around the block where they know zip it, okay, and they got a lot of street knowledge. If they don't have that, they're talking. They're talking and they're having conversations with each other. And they're not paying attention that Johnny's on the phone with whoever. So that part, to me, just tells me that investigator or commentator he's a civilian. So he doesn't understand, the deepness of what goes on when something traumatic happens. As far as that testimony they got, who says that testimony is correct just because somebody gave it? They could be covering for those kids. So that's all I got to say.
And that's true, Mo. That's true. Dave, you gonna bring it in?
Yeah, I'm gonna bring it in. All right.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Two things. When them young people got back to shore, to the mainland, okay, one of their stepmothers is a judge. All of a sudden, she became, and this is verified, she became the spokesperson for the kids who returned to shore. Okay, phones are scrubbed. You can't scrub phones because we're gonna get it anyway. We'll just hit your ass with a subpoena and get your phone records. That's fine. But my thing about it is, okay, she's saying it was a voice saying they tried to get him back on the boat. He wouldn't do it. He said, "No, I'm staying here for the next ride back." Okay, what happened to him to make him want to wait for another boat or something to come out there and get him? There's a lot of shit down in Mississippi. And now I find out, okay, that the medical examiner down there, the last few, I think 5 or so suspicious deaths with black children. I say children because they're young people. Okay, she was a medical examiner. She deemed them normal, natural deaths. No. Okay, this is Mississippi. And to that family down there, and I hate to say this, I'm going to bring race back into it again because I am going to bring race back into it again because I really don't give a shit. This is Mississippi, okay? Why are you sending your black child out there with a whole bunch of kids, white kids, down in Mississippi, okay, down there without backup? My mother would tell me, your brother's going with you. Y'all leave here together. Y'all coming back home together. We all heard that. Who was the brother on here? Tell me we didn't hear that.
Every time.
Come on, man. Even with your neighbors. Y'all leave together. Y'all coming back together. Man. My father said that to me, my neighbors, their kids, y'all coming back together. This is the cover up is really getting worse. But hey, you know what though? Keep covering up because the crime is coming out. I want to know what happened to that kid before he was found floating next to the island. And why was he on the boat, but his phone was on the boat, and then y'all scrubbed his phone records, deleted his text messages. Why? Okay, why? And why wasn't Jackson, Mississippi investigators involved right away? Knowing the history of that state. Jackson, Mississippi state investigators should have been on that right away. Not the local sheriff.
That's a black police department, too.
Damn right it is. You damn right.
Mm-hmm.
And they reach out to us all the time up here in New York.
Mm-hmm.
When I was on the job in homicide. Why weren't they involved right away? Okay, that's their bread and butter down there. Jackson, Mississippi State Police investigators.
Yeah,
not the local sheriffs.
I see you, Will.
Yeah, not the local sheriffs on that bullshit. I'm talking about those state investigators, man. They're big time, and they know better. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Will.
This phone thing just had a new epiphany for me. These kids, most everybody keeps their phone locked, especially kids.
That's damn right.
And in most cases, kids unlock their phones one of two ways: either biomedical with their thumb or their finger, or facial recognition. How could they get in his phone without being with him in order to do it?
He was dead. He put the phone in front of his face. That's how.
Well, that's what Will's saying.
Yeah.
Listen, there's a few things going on here, and I know I'm still let D get to the good boy video, but Carl Saunders says one of the parents donated 50 grand reward. Did y'all know that?
No.
I didn't see or hear that.
You can donate, it's not going nowhere.
Yeah, never to be paid.
Yeah.
What
Well, I ain't
was the reward for? Because if they're saying it wasn't a death, why would you need a reward?
That's exactly right, Mark.
Well, it didn't say. That's what he stated.
Exactly what my mind went.
Karen said there's an audio engineer who is said to have cleaned the audio background noise.
Yeah.
So that you can hear the call.
Yeah.
She didn't finish. Oh, she didn't. That came out today.
I was trying to find that, but I only found it on social media. I couldn't find it on YouTube.
And as the husband of the judge, she put a link in there. If you look in our chat in our group on roll call, she put a link in there.
Yeah, roll call. I put the audio, the enhanced audio. It's all lined out what was said.
You put it in there?
Chat. Yeah, I did.
You put it in our chat. She put it in the roll call. She put it in the Facebook chat.
Facebook chat. Okay.
Mm-hmm. She got something there. Facebook chat.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm trying to get out of here. Carl says people think so they won't investigate their son. Okay. All right. Well, a whole lot of reasons. I believe the victim was on the boat and was killed by one of the others, and then the cover up. Okay. Whole lot. D, give us a good boy, and so we can say goodbye.
I saw this today and I said, we got to see this one. Let's take a look.
A mom hopes the parents of these teenagers see this, and I hope they do too. It happened during Cow Appreciation Day at the Chick-fil-A in Locust Grove. A 3-year-old boy showed up wearing his very best cow outfit, excited to be part of the fun. This group of teenagers noticed him. They could have smiled and kept walking. Instead, they stopped to talk to him, asked if they could take a picture with him, laughed with him, and made him feel like he was the coolest kid in the restaurant. His mom, Jessica, said her son's face just lit up. Then as they were leaving, one of the teenagers gave her a hug and said, "Thanks, Mama." She says that moment melted her heart. Not because they did something extraordinary, but because they chose kindness when no one was asking them to. Jessica told me she was blown away by how many people connected with this story after she shared it. It reminded so many people that there are incredible teenagers out there doing the right thing every single day. So to the parents who raise these young men, you should be proud. You raised sons who took a few minutes out of their day to make a little boy feel so important and celebrated. The world talks way too much about teenagers doing the wrong thing. Here is a reminder that there are a whole lot of them doing what's right.
Wow. Let me see. I'm trying to find my celebration hand. Where is it? That it? I need more than that one. All right. Well, listen, thank you guys so much for your participation. Those on Facebook, YouTube, we thank you so much for joining us and being with us. Thank you guys for taking time out of your schedule. Anyone, anything else before we close? All right. Let us pray. God, our Father, we thank you once again for allowing us to come together. Thank you for a wonderful show today. Thank you for those on the panel and those who even were on the panel but had to leave. We're praying to God for all those who are sick and shut in, all those who are grieved by the hands of death. We're praying for all those on our Facebook Live. We pray especially right now for David Kennard. You know exactly what he's dealing with. We pray for Tyrone. You know what he's dealing with. You know what those names we called earlier, you know what they're dealing with. We're praying for each and every one of us that you would keep us and watch over us as we endeavor into these situations. We thank you now. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Amen.
Amen.
Till we meet again, God bless you all.